Okay, bad. Okay, shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah. Koholoyim La Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Bahashim. Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Achwaf. That's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yahchanan the Wach. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And just asked the AI a question. This is the Perplexity app, almost like Chat GPT. And I was watching Secretary of Homeland Security, the Barbie, whatever the fuck they calling her. You know what I'm saying? She was doing she was out there in California somewhere doing something about drugs. But what I caught was, all these big ass evidence boxes behind her, big ass plastic bags, looked like they had pill bottles and shit in it, but they had a backdrop, like they done seized all this dope and all these drugs and shit. So it dawned on me, just by the Spirit, to just ask the AI chat, whatever, does America destroy the drugs it sees? Now we've heard that they do, but there's no actual evidence that they do because nobody ever see it. All you can do, all you have is his word. And we know that Esau's a fucking liar, bro. But anyway, let me just run through some of this and we'll just pull scriptures by the Spirit. Okay, it says, yes, the United States, almost all illicit drugs that law enforcement seizes are eventually destroyed, not reused or resold. And believe in that shit. Esau not getting rid of no dope, bro. Because these are the biggest dope dealers on the planet while bombing boats in Venezuela, and locking up Jake for 30, 40, 50, giving Jake 100 years and shit for a bag of crack. You know what I'm saying? In the meanwhile, he's the one that's in control of the laws. He's in control of the seizures. He's in control of really distribution. The man has pharmacies all over the world. He's the one. That's how we know that. Job 9:24. Let me get that real quick because that dude comes to mind. Job 9:24. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? Right here. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not wearing, who is he? So if he's not running the earth, then who is? Because so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they don't have no say into what's legal and what's not legal. Esau comes up with what's legal and what's not legal for us. He writes our curriculum for our children in school. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that's able to say, okay, you need a birth certificate, a social security number, a passport, when all these different things to go wherever. You know what I'm saying? He can stop you from going. You can't just freely go without his permission. So he's in control of the earth. He's in control of the planet. He's in control of these where these drugs go, their evidence room, how long they stay there, who can get to walk in there and check on, all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? Who's logging it? The law enforcement is his. You know, so we know clear full well that Job 9:24 it fits these so-called white people, which their biblical nationality is Esau, Edom. But let's go back into the article, or not article, but what the chat thing was saying. Okay, it says what usually happens. Drugs are kept as evidence while a case is being investigated, prosecuted, and any appeals are possible. Only small documented samples are kept long term for evidentiary purposes, so for evidence purposes rather. The bulk amount is marked for destruction under federal and state rules. Yeah, fucking right. Come on, bro. How they are destroyed. The most common method is high temperature incineration at specialized or EPA approved facilities, often with strict security and a chain of custody procedures. Okay, strict security, who's anybody can be bought. And then, like I said again, Esau, he can easily just walk right in, take over a case, or the FBI is coming in. We're taking over this. You're no longer involved in the investigate. And then next thing you know, shit is being driven away and never to be seen again. Some agencies, next on the list is some agencies use industrial furnaces like metal forges or contracted hazardous waste incinerators to completely burn the drugs in a controlled way. Boy, I tell you. Other methods, number 3 on the list. Other methods such as cement encapsulation with later landfill disposal exist but are now rare because of environmental concerns. Like, ain't no telling what the fuck. Hey, that's probably why they finding all this, this drug and the drugs in the, in the wastewater, your seawater, you know what I'm saying, your all these different places in the waterway where they finding all these fucking drugs in the fish. They finding the drugs and Esau. This man gotta go, man. Um. Okay, so next on the list they have problems and exceptions. Audits have found that some agencies like U.S. Customs and Border Protection have kept far more seized drugs in storage than rules allow instead of destroying them on time, which creates safety and security risks. Of course, I mean, who's really there to actually put them in their place, so to speak? They're just like Donald Trump. Who's gonna put this guy in place? He's not listening to anything federal. He's not listening to the judges. He's not listening to the Constitution. You know, who's gonna check these people? How you got the wicked overseeing some wicked shit as if they're gonna give you righteousness out of it? Don't make no sense, bro. But this is Esau's kingdom. This is his shit. Next on that list is these findings led to recommendations to speed up destruction and tighten compliance, but the legal requirement remains. Seized drugs beyond evidentiary samples are supposed to be destroyed, not kept or reused. And you know full well, man, these drugs, man. Now Esau he's snatching them bitches up and he's sending them to his dealers, man. Okay, so the next question I asked was, does the public get to see them destroyed? No. Destruction of seized illicit drugs is generally not done in front of the public, and ordinary people almost never get to watch. Well, I mean, even from a TV standpoint, you still wouldn't know what's really what. Even if you was watching it from TV, because you can't trust Esau. The scripture says to never trust thine enemy. We don't trust Esau, man, and nothing this man says. This man is a complete fucking liar. Matter of fact, let me get this one. Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Yeah, and look at how they acting with these Jeffrey Epstein files. They not going after no perpetrators. They're not going after any people that's on the list. They're not investigating it. They not even they haven't even interviewed the fucking survivors of this shit. The chicks that supposedly, So it's like you got a bunch of men that are in power that's just doing what the fuck they want to do, and you think that they burning drugs? Get the hell out of here, man. These people are never to be trusted. You better listen to the scriptures, man. That's that Ecclesiastes 12:10, where it talks about never trust thine enemy. For like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, man. Just like iron gonna rust, he's gonna eventually show you his wickedness. These people are wicked as hell. Because they run the major drug companies. They're the ones with the pharmaceutical companies. Those are your main drugs. They done got rid of all the healing, pretty much, your fruits and vegetables, your herbs, things of the earth, the medicines of the ground. They have gotten rid of all that, man, to give you some shit they created in a lab. That's not healing anyone. Right? Okay, so it says, let me get that back from the top again. So I asked, does the public get to see them destroyed? Get to see these drugs destroyed? No. Destruction of seized illicit drugs is generally not done in front of the public or ordinary people. Almost never get to ordinary people almost never get to watch. Who is present? Who actually gets to see this done? Destruction is usually witnessed only by authorized personnel. Now, all right, well. And who's to say, and the Edomites, law enforcement officers, you already know they'll plant some dope in your damn car. They'll plant dope on you. Law enforcement officers, evidence technicians, facility operators, and sometimes internal or external auditors. This is all Edomite shit. Agencies follow chain custody and documentation rules instead of public viewing. See? So the public don't know what's going on. But they using all your tax money. At the same time, they robbing you of your tax money to basically put this shit back out on the streets, because you know they doing that in a lot of cases, man. I'm not trusting Esau. This man is clearly the wicked. He's totally capable of that. You thinking that this man is just no, he would never. You crazy as hell. Okay, but it says agencies follow chain of custody, and documentation rules instead of public viewing, using logs, video, and signed witness forms to prove that the drugs were destroyed. Come on, bro. That's not enough proof when it comes to this place. While the public is not invited, large drug burns are security risks. They concentrate valuable contraband, require arms transport, and could attract organized crime if locations and times were publicized. There are also safety and environmental controls at incinerators or industrial furnaces, which are not set up as public events or demonstrations. They don't even tell you that it's going to be happening, though. They don't have to necessarily give you the location. I can understand that, but they're not saying, okay, today, this amount of dope is going to be destroyed. There's a website. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Okay, it says any rare exceptions. On rare occasions, agencies might release edited video or photos of a destruction event for media or public relations purposes, but that is not the same as live public access. Yeah, because you don't know what they burning. You ain't gonna never know really if that's what it really is anyway. There is no general legal right for the public to attend drug destruction. It is treated as controlled evidence handling step rather than the public proceeding. Okay, so when they said that, I asked this. Because, sometimes you got to just cut to the chase and, kind of back down these AI apps. It says, so I said, then there's a possibility it's not actually being destroyed, considering corruption in some of these agencies, right? So now they have a few stories right here. They got Mississippi drug robbery sting snares 14 police officers. See these stories right here? Archives when cops go bad, drug wars, frontline. This one says more than 130 Philadelphia Police Department drug cases vacated after judge finds. Yeah, of course, because they fucking with they fucking with the drugs. They planting shit on people. So these people are wicked, man. This one is on YouTube. 2 sheriffs, other law enforcement arrested after, so I'm not going to even go into them. But you can just, just throw that in the search engine. Anything about that, officers being caught, or evidence rooms being undercounted for, whatever the case may be, man. Okay, so when I asked that question, I says, then there's a possibility it's not actually being destroyed, considering corruption in some of these agencies. It says, yes, there is some possibility of that, and there have been real corruption cases in U.S. law enforcement involving drugs, but there are also layers of safeguards meant to reduce that risk. Okay, well, you're trying to reduce the risk. You're not getting rid of it. Because, in our kingdom, hey, this shit is going to be eradicated. You Edomites not going to be doing no goddamn fentanyl. You ain't going to have no time to. We going to be on y'all asses. You're going to be too goddamn tired to even pick something else up to even do a damn drug. You're going to be too tired. First thing you're going to be trying to do as soon as you get a break of whatever amount of time it may be, your ass going to be asleep. Trying to just rest up for the next day we whipping your ass, man. Okay, but anyway. Okay, so it says, why my concern is reasonable for my question that I asked. Documented cases exist where officers stole drugs from evidence, resold them, or worked with traffickers, leading to prosecutions and overturned convictions. Right? Corruption is usually uncovered through internal affairs, federal investigations, whistleblowers, or defense attorneys finding contradictions, like video that doesn't match police reports. Okay, so they have safeguards on paper. Drug destruction is supposed to follow strict chain of custody rules, logging quantities, sealed containers, multiple witnesses, and signed certificates of destruction so there's a paper trail. Federal and many local agencies use policies that require at least two authorized witnesses during destruction and periodic audits to reconcile what was seized, what was used as evidence, and what was destroyed. The reality, right? It says the reality. Those controls lower the odds of drugs quietly being diverted, but they don't make it impossible. Where oversight is weak or leadership tolerates corner cutting, abuse can and does happen. Which would be, well, you got people that just, you got Edomites, they just over shit and they just run shit and just do what the fuck they want to do. Because again, it's nothing for uh uh Trump to send in whoever the fuck he wants to and say, hey, you know what, we're gonna seize everything and all the evidence rooms in the state of Connecticut or wherever fucking state. We're gonna come through. We're gonna send our own people through. We're gonna have our own. You know what I'm saying? And they can just roll out of there with anything, and you won't even know where the fuck is going. That's just like with these immigrants. You don't know where they at. You don't know where they going. You can't even see what they. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to show you any evidence. They don't have to show you anything of what they're doing. Right. So this is the wicked that's running the planet, man. Okay, so and that was pretty much about it. The reality, it says the controls lower the odds of drugs quietly being diverted, but they don't make it impossible. Where oversight is weak or leadership tolerates corner cutting, abuse can and does happen. When corruption is exposed, it often causes big fallout. Hundreds of cases thrown out, officers arrested, which is both evidence that the system sometimes fails and that there are mechanisms that eventually catch some of the worst misconduct. Now, well, yeah, you Edomites are a bunch of fucking hypocrites, is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And then here you go. You know, you arrested all these Jake. You know what I'm saying? You arrested all these people, basically, you know, for marijuana, and now all of a sudden marijuana is legal in all these states, and you can just walk your ass right into a dispensary and get anything that you want to smoke, man. You know, so and they threw none of those cases out neither. They didn't compensate any of these men that they had thrown into jail. But you know, this is just something that I seen. You know, I don't know. I was just watching the news. It was on Fox Live, and this doofy bitch standing there with all this evidence shit behind her. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find the picture and show you what it looked like, what she was looking like. That just made me just be like, you know what? Let me ask the chat. I'm trying to think what city that was. I'm just gonna put in California drug interview or something. I'm trying to think how it was worded. Fox News. Let me just put in Fox. It might pop up. Maybe not. Either way, you get the point. What's this? Yep, this was 5 hours ago. Let me see. Here it is, right here. Look at this shit right here. Look at this. This is what made me do it. This is for educational purposes only, too. Damn it. Yeah, see.
Electric nail clippers have become this convenient. Simply place your nails inside for smooth trimming. Nope.
Slot.
The vault that we've toured today.
See? See, look at all that shit. Now, all this is supposed to be dope, right? It says 188,218 pounds of seized illicit drugs. That's almost 200,000 pounds, man. Right? Almost 200,000 pounds, right? Now, you really think they getting rid of all this damn dope, Esau, the white man? Are you fucking crazy? Not happening, bro. I highly doubt that. But see, this is the thing. Look at this. This is crazy work right here. Look at this picture right here. Matter of fact, I'll probably use this. That's crazy work right there.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Christy Nome, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. And I also want to thank Chief Banks for being here with me today. He's the chief of the border and has given us excellent leadership in making sure that we're making America safe again and that we're upholding our laws in this great country. I also have with me...
See? Hypocrites, bro. Hypocrites. Here you go. You got all... Where the fuck all this dope come from? You think that this just came from so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? You don't think that so-called white people have anything to do with violent crimes? Because we've been the most heinous crimes we've been seeing as of late has been Esau. Esau, even the so-called white man, he's committing all the heinous crimes, bro. But in the meanwhile, they got the world, or at least majority of these Americans, believing that there's these Mexicans, these Venezuelans, these the Northern Kingdom, basically. Not you believing that they're just the most brutal people on the fucking planet. But here you go, you got Esau, the so-called white man, just terrorizing them. He's just doing all kinds of shit, bro. Anyway, and then trying to front as if you trying to tell. Come on, bro. I can remember back in the days, Esau. He having a suit and tie, just like this motherfucker, just like these motherfuckers got on, and he be right at work at his cubicle in his job sniffing coke. And then they would give him less time if he actually got caught with the coke. And they would give Jake more time if he got caught with the cooked up form of the coke, the crack or whatever. So Esau's a fucking hypocrite, man. But let me get that one and I'm gonna end out, man. Yeah, his ass is bought out of here. He's being exposed, man. Job 20:5, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Yep. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? And that's what we looking forward to, man. Esau ass, man, out of here. Verse 8 it says, he shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night, man. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. And that's what we looking forward to, man. Because Esau, if this man continues to rule, nothing will survive. Nothing will survive. Because when you go into these pharmaceuticals and who owns these, man, look these people, the number of deletions of the people that have died from this man's medicines and his jump shots. You rolling up your sleeve and letting this man jab something in you. You know what I'm saying? Like the number of people that are either physically fucked up out here, and the number of people that are actually going to the grave, that are going back to the spirit world, them numbers is through the roof, man. When it comes to Esau, bro, this man has a lot of blood on his hands in the name of healing you. All in the name of healing you, man. So I'm gonna end out there, man. I pray that the lesson was edifying. Pour me a shala and a bubble ball.